hit record, and then we can start the show whenever you guys are ready. I just need to do one thing real quick. I have this like kind of raspy throat today, so I'm not getting sick or anything, but I'll let you guys do most of the talking. I'll just chime in to complain every now and then.
That was my plan. So, Nando, talk.
Yay, I'm going to talk a bunch.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah, Gary Oldman.
Okay, I think that's my virtual background.
Job. Hold up. No fair. Let me do that.
No.
Okay. How do I do that?
Well, first you have to download a couple of pictures of Gary Oldman.
I'm not going to do it with Gary Oldman, but how do I?
So download any picture of Gary Oldman. It only works with Gary Oldman.
Okay, only works with Gary Oldman. Gotcha.
Yeah, and apparently flowers. I didn't know that, but the tutorial was just for the one that I watched was just for Gary Oldman.
Wolf. What? Manda, help me.
Okay.
Run, Manda. Gary Oldman.
Virtual background.
There. You have to download a picture and then, yeah.
It has to be of Gary Oldman. That's from what I understand.
Does it. Cool.
There we go.
Okay. Hannah, you're muted.
There we go. That's how it's gonna be. Yeah. Shut up, Jasmine.
It looks kind of like Professor Lupin is just like peeking around you. For most of the video. I need that to be like. Oh,
I'll just sit like this for the rest of the video.
Yeah,
I'll just sit off center for you. For you, I'll sit off center.
The lighting even works. It's kind of creepy.
Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome back to Phantom Racers. We're having fun with virtual backgrounds, and we're going to talk about Harry Potter and the Prisoner of the Copacabana. It's pretty great. It's a decent movie.
Woo!
They're getting progressively better, I'll say that. I enjoyed this one more than I did the last one, in spite of Hannah's faces.
Well, that's good.
Hannah, was this not your favorite one in progressively, at least?
Personally, I don't really care about this one. I have like parts where I'm like, yeah, this is good, but also like there's some worse ones where I'm like, I just don't make me watch those. for the love of God and all that's good with anything, don't make me watch those. Yeah.
All right, Amanda, how did you feel about them?
Okay, so like I said, the Chamber of Secrets is my favorite Harry Potter movie, but book-wise, this is supposed to be my favorite. I don't remember why. It's been like 20 years since I've actually read The Prisoner of Azkaban. So
yeah,
I remember being very disappointed, and I'm still kind of disappointed in this movie, although I have more respect for it now. But they did, I think, after so many people probably didn't like Chamber of Secrets, they changed it up. The new director came in and he gave it a new kind of technique and look to it. So yeah, it's decent, but it's not my favorite, and it's a little disappointing because I remember that that was supposed to be my favorite book.
I think thematically it was much darker. I remember watching it and being like, this is like, besides the wacky bus ride through the city in the beginning, for the most part it was a lot darker visually, at least. I liked most of it. I thought there were going to be more parts that I was disappointed in, like the part where they like, but tomorrow's Quidditch, and I was like, you couldn't do it, could you? You couldn't give me one movie. You couldn't give me one movie that didn't have Quidditch in it. And then, surprise, surprise, it was only like 5 minutes long. It was only like 2 minutes long, the Quidditch scene. Of course, they can't have a Quidditch game without someone catching fire for some reason, or someone exploding, I guess, which is fine. Amanda, do you want to run through the plot really quickly of the movie? Just like the high points of what happens. For anybody who hasn't seen it, good on you, but this is what we're talking about. So
Yeah, so Harry Potter's back at it again
Mhm.
in Hogwarts. And this year he's got a crazy escaped convict looking for him.
You know,
So Harry starts off, he's with the Dursleys again, and escape convict. I don't know which way to look.
Mhm.
Sorry, no, not that one. Whatever.
Not the guy behind you. Although
No,
The other one.
the old one.
the old man. Mhm.
Anyway, so Harry's with the Dursleys. He blows up his aunts, and then he's like, "I've had it with you guys, and I'll leave."
Just real
So
quick, let me
he gets
chime
on
in
the
on
night
that.
bus.
That is the most horrifying thing that I could imagine doing to somebody, is make them float up into oblivion, and then that's it. They die.
I would like to disagree. The way that Amanda put it, where it's like he blew up his aunt. Just imagine like her just exploding at the dinner table. Like
That's horrifying for other people for sure, but for
that's
her,
horrifying for her. She just exploded.
but she just keeps flying up, and there's no gravity more. Sorry, Isaac Newton, you were wrong. I'm just gonna ascend to the stars. And so long, Dursleys. And he doesn't even feel bad about it. He doesn't do anything about it. He's just like, I'm out of here. That's what you made me do. And he leaves. And then somebody else is like, oh, we fixed that problem for you, by the way, later on whenever he meets the minister of magic. The first problem with that movie. All right. That was it. Why would you do? I get that she pushed your buttons, but not a slow, horrifying death.
Well, they did save her.
I mean, they did, but he didn't know they were going to do that. She could have just ran into a plane up there.
Hey,
Anyway,
I mean, I don't think Petunia liked her either, so it's fine.
sure.
Petunia literally, like when she's flying away and Vernon's like, Marge. Petunia's like, goodbye.
Mhm.
Goodbye.
Back to the night bus. So he gets on the night bus and he makes it all the way to Diagon Alley, and they're like you said, it's all fine. We don't care that you blew up your aunt. And there he runs into his best buds, because apparently they were already there. I don't remember.
No.
But
Back from Egypt.
oh yeah, something about Egypt that doesn't really matter to the storyline.
Moving right along.
But anyways, Harry asks about this serious black character, and he doesn't know who he is, but everyone's like shocked, like, how can you not know? And they're like, he's a Muggle guy. So they explained that Sirius was involved with his parents, and that he's a dangerous criminal, and Harry shouldn't be around him. So Harry's like, yeah, duh. And I won't
Wasn't
be,
planning on it.
maybe.
Yeah.
And he gets on the Hogwarts train, and the first thing happens is he gets teased by a Dementor, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, I heard you're Harry Potter. I'm gonna mess with you. Nice glasses, doofus. Yeah, Amanda, teasing is the word.
God
Yeah.
dang.
So after that, the Hogwarts is bringing in these Dementors, and it's all for the safety of the students, which obviously isn't very safe because they keep just picking on Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah. So also, this is going to be really important later on. They introduce Professor Lupin on that train before Harry Potter gets attacked by that. Yeah, right behind Hannah, the guy who's kind of coyly looking at the camera like, I didn't do anything wrong. These aren't defensive wounds on my face. So You don't see Professor Lupin. The only thing you know about him is his name. That's Professor Lupin.
Yep.
I'm gonna get to that later. But just put a pin on that. I'm gonna talk about that later. Okay, go ahead, Amanda.
Kind of the rest of the story involves Harry trying to like fend off these Dementors and learn like his family's past and things like that. So Lupin is kind of teaching Harry how to deal with the problems that he has, especially Dementors. And the rest of everything is really sketch until you get to the night of the Buckbeak. Buckbeak's a hippogriff. He's going to be murdered for scratching Malfoy, which is the dumbest thing ever.
You killed me. I'll get you and your bloody chicken too.
I gotta say,
yeah, that one.
I enjoy hating that guy. It's pretty nice. It feels good.
It's the easiest
I'm sure he's a
thing
nice
in the
guy in
world.
real life, but he just looks awful. He looks like the worst one.
The three amigos, they go out there and they watch Hagrid not kill him. I don't know. they're out there to console Hagrid, and then they are making their way back up to the castle. Then Ron's rat, he starts like running away, and they're like, "No, rat, come back!" And they follow him to the Whomping Willow. And he goes into this little hole under the Whomping Willow, and what do we see? A giant black dog, which is the Grim, apparently, to Harry, which is a bad omen.
Yeah.
Or Gary Oldman.
He thought it was funny. Look at him. He can barely contain his laughter.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile.
He's
He
like-
thought it was great.
Only Gary Oldman liked that joke.
That's not how the story went, but
Yeah,
whatever.
well, Hannah, how about
How about I tell it? Okay.
yeah,
so,
you
we're-
go.
so like Ron's stupid rat he's like holding the rat, and then like Sirius Black is like, oh, but he's in like dog form. He's like, woof woof, you, and he grabs him, he drags him under the Whomping Willow to the Shrieking Shack. And then like Harry and Hermione run in, and they're like, Ron, and Ron's like, he's him. And Sirius like closes the
Good
door
reading, yeah.
dramatic.
That's what he did.
So so Sirius closes the door. He's like, you did it. And Ron's like, it wasn't me.
Technical difficulties. You were saying Ron was a coward?
Yes.
Go on.
Yes. So like obviously Sirius closes the door and he's like, you, and Ron's like, not me. And he's like, no, you're rat. And he goes into this whole like monologue about like the rat being super old for a common garden rat. And then like Lupin busts in, and then like Lupin is like, Sirius, the madness within. And Sirius is like, of course you know the madness within, Remus. And then like they have their little bro hug and everything like that. And
That
then
was the best
Hermione's
part.
like, how dare you? I trusted you. And then like they're like, no, you don't understand. And then like they're like, let me kill him. And he's like, you're not gonna kill Harry. And everyone's like, it's not Harry. And then like Snape comes in. Snape gets pushed away. Snape is out of mind. Peter runs across, and they're like, no, you gotta be a person now. And then like Peter Pettigrew's like, what? Huh? Oh, Harry, Sirius, Remus, my best friends. And then like they go into a whole monologue about that too. Like, how dare you let them die? And it's like, what would you do? I would die. And then like that all gets wrapped up. Harry spares Peter's life, which is a mess, but whatever. And then they go outside, and Sirius pulls Harry over. He's like, you can live with me. And Harry's like, that's dope. And then right as that is, the moon comes out. And Remus is like, uh-oh. And Sirius is like, uh-oh. And the kids are like, what? What's up? And then he like turns into a werewolf. And Sirius is like, your heart, buddy. Yes, it's you. It's not this body. It's you. Stay there. And it's like he didn't take his potion, so of course. And then Snape has to save them. Save the kids. Sorry. Yeah. And then like Sirius and Remus go do their thing, and then like Time Turner thing, and then they go save Buckbeak from being murdered. I mean, executed, whatever. So I skipped over a bunch of stuff because I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention to the end of the half of the movie because I got bored. So like Hermione's like, oh woo, and then like it drags Lupin into the forest. Yeah. And so then Lupin is chasing them, and then Buckbeak just smacks the crud out of Lupin. And then they're like, oh, we gotta go save him. And it's like, Harry, nobody's gonna come and save Sirius. It wasn't your dad. And he was like, oh, wait a minute. It was me. And I knew I could do it because I did it before. And I was like, yeah. And then they go back, and then they gaslight Ron at the end. Because Ron's like, wait a minute. You were there, and now you're here. Mm-hmm. What? And it's like, seriously, Ron, people can't be at two places at the same time. And then it ends really stupidly, and I hate this ending. But Harry goes to the Great Hall, and they're like, I didn't mean to open it. It was poorly packaged, and they told me to do it. Did not. And then it's a new broom, because his got wrecked in Quidditch. And so he just like takes that sucker outside and flies it, and that is the worst ending I've ever. Yeah, that's the worst ending I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct. Worst ending. Yeah. Okay. So that's the story.
Okay. First of all, that was probably the best retelling of any movie that I have heard in a very long time. Between recasting Rocky's coach as Sirius Black, that was the best. You got to do it, kid. I like that part. Cutting out most of the movie, which was totally great. That was I would have done that too if I was the director. You don't need this. Concise. I appreciate it. All right. So remember I said I was going to get to that thing with Professor Lupin. I'm going to change to angry Gary Oldman now. Because now it's time to be serious. Yeah. Yeah, he's not happy about this. I don't mean to poke your nose, sir, but I'm sorry. Listen. Professor, so he's teaching these kids at some point in the movie about the difference between werewolves and whatever Sirius Black is. I don't remember what it's called.
Animagus.
That sounds right. So he's teaching them about that, hinting, yes, there are going to be werewolves in this movie. What's the first thing we learn about this guy's name, or this guy is his name, Lupin? And then we get to the end of the movie, and then you know, Captain Obvious, Hermione is like, "You're a werewolf," and then he's like, "How did you know?" Because your name was Lupin.
Remus.
How
Remus Lupin.
Like his name was Werewolf. I didn't even. The first thing I learned you were a werewolf, because that's how names work in this movie. Anyway.
If I were to name a werewolf, what would I name him?
Second of all, I did have a problem with this part of the. Why is there time travel in this movie? Did they feel like it wasn't complicated enough? Like it wasn't convoluted enough with the rest of the story that was happening? They're like, we need to make this really absurd to follow. Yes, Hannah, your hand is disappearing behind Professor Lupin.
I saw that happening. It's a magic spell. My biggest question is, why did they bestow this power to a 13-year-old and never use it? You've never used it. Like, oh, you know, we could go back and and of course Hermione's like, oh, bad things happen to wizards who mess with time. Yeah. But what if we just go back in time and stop some things?
Yeah.
Like why don't we just do that?
The most rational professor I've seen at Hogwarts has so far done one of the most irrational things, which is give an already like overpowered, overknowledged character more power, more power than any probably adult should have, much less, you know, the one kid. And by the way, it was during first term when she was already a social outcast, and you probably don't want the, you know, the misfit of a group of weapons of mass destructions just running around with the ability to change time. Ridiculous. But also, this is the third time they did not do their research on a professor that they give Harry Potter. Did nobody learn that he was a werewolf?
Yes, they talk about it. They knew about it.
At the end,
they already knew.
They were like, no, but nobody knew about it.
They knew about it. Dumbledore knew. Okay, I want to bring in book stuff, but
one guy knew about it.
Dumbledore already knew. They all knew. Snape knew about it. Snape knew about it a while ago. Snape knew about it when he was a kid because Sirius Black was a turd who was like, hey, Severus, you should go to if you want to know where Remus is going every month, go to the Whomping Willow. And like, he saw, he was like, oh my God. And like, so two people knew. Two
whole people.
I mean, why do you think Snape was so petty to be like, we're going to be talking about werewolves in the class that like Lupin has to go missing in?
I'll be honest with you, werewolves. That's just his tone.
Because he's a petty turd.
I didn't pick up any nuance in Alan Rickman's delivery of that. I was just like, yeah, that's just how he likes to talk with his hair and shake his neck a little bit. He's got the straight hair to pull it off. You go, girl. You know?
On your page to 394.
394.
But like, people, they already knew. They knew he was a werewolf. Like, Dumbledore let Remus, because Remus was like turned when he was a child, because his dad was talking a lot of smack, and like Greyback was like, I don't like that. Ugh, gross. And then he turned his son and was like, hope you like that. Hope you like them apples. And so like, Remus has been dealing with this since he was a child, and Dumbledore came in and was like, you know, it's okay. They put in the Whomping Willow for this boy, the Shrieking Shack for this boy, and he still he was utilizing it until like every one of his friends turned into animaguses for him, and he became a coward and didn't tell Dumbledore the truth, and didn't even, when he was a professor, a grown adult, didn't even tell. I'm getting off on a track about how cowardice Remus is.
You're getting passionate, though. I can see your eyes blink like crazy. I like it. Go.
He's a coward. I can go on for days about this, and it's a rough subject because people would be like, "No, he's not," and I'm like, "Yes, he is. I've got textual evidence of that." But like, people knew that he was a werewolf. I mean, that was the whole point of this yelling, was people knew he was a werewolf. And it wasn't like, oh, well, we don't know, because he's been dealing with this since he was a kid, and Dumbledore let him in knowing full well of his condition. And so many other teachers at the time were informed of this condition that he is so graciously gifted. So like, it wasn't like Dumbledore didn't look past it. Also, I've got other things to yell at you about from last movie.
From the last
I watched it and I was like, the last one, I watched it and I was like, that don't sit well with me.
Okay. Well,
then we began this with.
Why did he leave then? He made
what? Oh, Remus?
Yeah.
Because the students didn't know. The students weren't supposed to know, but other people. The whole thing was like, no one's parents want their kid to go to school with a werewolf. Like, the kids didn't know.
Yeah.
And now that it was like out in the bow, they were like, uh-oh.
So why did they hire him? If he was a werewolf and they knew him?
Because, okay, here's the thing.
Are you using the book or not?
I am using the book.
It doesn't count.
The thing is that being...
Because if all I've ever seen is the movie...
Being a werewolf... Oh, shut up. Okay, so being a werewolf outcasted him from normal like wizard society, so he's poor, super poor, couldn't get a job, they didn't want to give a job to a werewolf. They were like, you're like bad, like Greyback. No. So Dumbledore was like, hey, yo, we can't keep a Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. You are a dark art. You're a dark creature that we will be learning. How about you come here? And like he gave Remus multiple little opportunities and things. Again, Remus is a coward, but he did his job very well. I mean, he's probably the best professor besides McGonagall to grace those halls.
All right.
Why you
Gary Oldman is unswayed, but all right.
Flitwick is too busy in the later movies doing choir stuff, band stuff. Like I know, but still.
He's got multiple jobs going.
McGonagall has multiple jobs going. All the teachers have multiple things. There's like 5 teachers, and that's it. Like I fully comprehend. There's only like 5-6 teachers, and they're just running around doing everything. Giant castle, 5-6 teachers running around.
Like magic.
No, shut up.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great. Too young.
Gary Oldman's not laughing, but I'm having a good time. So my memories of this movie were inaccurate. I remembered him being in this movie way more than the last like 30 minutes of it, and it bummed me out. It bummed me out for most of the movie. But from what I understand, he's in the next 1 or 2 movies.
No, he's in Goblet of Fire as the fire. He's like a little fire. He talks to him. Yeah. Then he has like the whole house. It's up until one of the 2 that I hate that he
Justin disappeared.
I think it's 2. It could be 3, but I'm not solid.
It's just the funniest thing I've ever heard. He's in Goblet of Fire as the fire.
You're gonna understand. You're gonna see. He's also the fire in the next one afterwards.
We are so knowledgeable, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. He's the fire for like 2 movies.
Harry Potter
he's a good actor.
God, I can't remember.
He's the only one you probably could trust to play an element. That's pretty good.
You're gonna get. It's a great scene. I give his acting right there an infinity out of 10.
Yeah.
It's great. It's hard to play a fire, and he just plays it so well. No, not even real fire could do it. No, they can't talk and do the stuff that Gary Oldman does.
But I'm gonna go ahead and get to the rating portion of this movie. I enjoyed it more than the last one. I'm gonna go ahead and give it probably a 6 though. I mean, it was better. It was a step in a direction that I actually enjoyed. Like the way it was shot, at least the cinematography was dark and it was rainy and it had some nice direction and most of the movie, but there were some really cheesy parts of it that I was just. And then the time travel stuff, I was like, you don't need that. Just make it a straightforward movie. I was exhausted by the time they got to like the first ending. And then by the time they got to the second ending, I was like, I like Gary Oldman, but I don't want to be here anymore. So I'm going to give it, a 6.5. I really do enjoy Gary Oldman. Manda, you haven't said a word. How did you enjoy it?
No. I think I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you're starting to like the movies better. Hopefully the next one will be more interesting, and then the next one, and then the next one. Yeah. But for me, this kind of took the wrong direction. I think it picks back up in the right direction in the next movie, but I'm gonna give this one a 4 because thematically, it just was missing that spark and that world building that was there. It had plot, but that's just based on the book. So, like, I don't know how much I credit I can really give the movie for that. But yeah, it was just missing that element of magic in the magic movie. The end.
The end. All right. Hannah, you've also been uncharacteristically quiet today. How do you feel about this movie?
Actually, that is uncharacteristically quiet for me. Thank you for pointing that out. I don't like this movie a lot. It's not one of my favorite ones. I'd probably give this, it's not the worst, so I'd probably give it like a 6. Like Mena said, it wasn't great. And I blame that fully on the director, because he's like the first 2 movies, it was a different director, and he's like, I'm going to take everything that I can from the books. Like, I'm going to basically take the books, put it in the movie the best I can. And this guy was like, the books? Let's throw that out. And he literally was like, I just went with my own creativity thing. And there's a part that they interview the Golden Trio, which is Hermione, Ron, and Harry, so Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson. They interview him, and they're like, so what was working on this movie like? And they were like, so the director had us write essays about our characters and like who we are, how we see ourselves in them, what we see them going forward as and stuff. And I was like, I saw that and I was like, this man didn't read the books. This man doesn't know. This man don't know. This man doesn't know. That was the truest feeling I had. I was like, and I didn't like it that much. I mean, I do love Gary Oldman, and I'm not even gonna try to say his name, but David.
That guy.
David.
The Loose or whatever.
The Loose. I can't say it. I don't want to get yelled at for saying it wrong.
Or something like that.
It's Thulis. But it doesn't look like that.
I was going to say thistle or something like. I knew it sounded like a lisp, like a regular word, but with a lisp in it.
It sounds like you're gonna like the word out. Like,
I just want to point out that Hannah, I didn't know this guy's name, but Hannah said, I watched an interview with David the Lewis, and I was like, his name is David the Lewis.
I didn't say the Lewis. I can't even say his name because we've said it so many times. Oh, Thulis. I hate to say it, but it's a stupid name.
My inability to say it has made it stupid. Yeah, I get it.
Sorry, David Lewis.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. You're a great actor, but you got a stupid name.
I highly doubt he's gonna watch this. So.
Straight up, I know he's not gonna watch this.
He's one of my only subscribers, man.
No.
He can fight me anytime, any day, anywhere. Just bring your mask and we'll meet in a dark alleyway behind a Chili's, and I'll fight you there.
Yeah.
Behind a Chili's.
It has to be Chili's.
It has to be a Chili's.
He strikes me as a TGI Fridays kind of guy. But if you want Chili's.
First, we'll eat a nice dinner at Chili's. I'll pay. And then I'm going to beat you up in that back alley behind it.
And right now he's cracking his knuckles and saying, oh, you'll pay. You'll pay.
Oh, sure I will. I'll pay, all right.
All right. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. We kept it relatively short. Short and to the point. It's not a great movie. But the next one was probably going to be better, maybe. I don't know.
It's going to be better. It's going to be better.
All right. That sounded real heartfelt. Okay. I hope so. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Go watch another video that talks about Gary Oldman. He's worth it. He's the best one. And and Mr. David Cthulhu. David Cthulhu.
Yeah. It's a better name than Lewis.
And it's easier to spell. But anyway.
What? Yes.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Bye. I just want to point out that we began this whole video saying that I was going to do most of the talking.
Yeah, that's good.
I got on a tangent, and you know I love tangents.
No, continue. It's entertaining. So
It's entertaining. Am I entertaining to you?
Yes.
am I like a clown?
Am I a clown? Am I a clown?
You don't know what that's from.
No.